Today we're going to talk about the importance of physical activity. But I want you to think about it a little differently. Instead of thinking about exercise as something individuals choose to do, like going to the gym or running, I want you to think about physical activity as something that shapes health at the population level. In public health, physical activity is not just about fitness. It is one of the most powerful tools we have to prevent disease, improve quality of life, and reduce healthcare costs. By the end of today's lecture, I want you to understand why physical activity is considered a cornerstone of public health. Before we move forward, I want to clarify two important concepts: public health and population health. Public health focuses on improving health across entire communities, often defined by geographic areas. It looks at differences in risk between groups. Population health, on the other hand, focuses on specific groups and examines how much disease can be prevented at the population level. Physical activity fits into both frameworks. It reduces risk across many diseases, and when we increase activity at the population level, we can prevent a large burden of disease. So the takeaway here is that inactivity is not just an individual issue. It is shaped by environments, policies, and systems. Moreover, it is important to understand the concepts of health and disease. The World Health Organization defines health holistically as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease. Physical activity supports all three dimensions. Physical activity provides multiple health benefits for adults in both the short and long term, including improved sleep, reduced anxiety, and better brain and cardiovascular health. A recent Lancet paper also showed that physical activity benefits people with disabilities. However, up to 62% of this population are less likely to meet physical activity guidelines compared with the general population. Additionally, as early as 2010, some researchers even described physical inactivity as a pandemic. Why is this happening? Modern lifestyles have reduced the need for movement. We sit more at work, rely heavily on technology, and often live in environments that do not support physical activity. As a result, even though we know physical activity is beneficial, many people are either unable or not sufficiently encouraged to move enough. Globally, about 30% of the population does not meet physical activity guidelines. Even small increases in activity across a population can lead to large reductions in the burden of disease. In the United States, the prevalence of not meeting physical activity guidelines is around 70%, which is about twice the global average. This serious issue requires greater attention and effective solutions. U.S. healthcare costs are high and increasing over time. The figure shows total spending, bars, rises from about $4 trillion to over $6 trillion. Percent of GDP line increases from 17.9% to 19.6%. This indicated that the healthcare costs are growing both in absolute terms and as a share of the economy. Moreover, in this figure, we can see that the U.S. spends more on healthcare than any other country, yet life expectancy is lower. This figure shows the prevalence, annual deaths, and costs of specific diseases. Cardiovascular disease has the highest prevalence. Low physical activity is associated with the highest number of deaths, as it contributes to multiple conditions such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes. This indicated that physical inactivity is a major concern in U.S. public health due to its widespread impact on multiple chronic diseases. Furthermore, this chart presents annual deaths in the U.S. attributed to different risk factors among adults under 70. Each bar represents a risk factor, and its length indicates the number of deaths linked to various diseases, such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes. Smoking is the leading cause of death among the listed risk factors, while physical inactivity, highlighted with the arrow, is also a significant contributor. This highlights the importance of reducing physical inactivity to prevent common non-communicable diseases. To reduce physical inactivity at the population level, a variety of population-based strategies have been developed. For example, the conceptual framework on the left focuses on multiple levels of influence: individual, professional, organizational, and system levels, to reduce physical inactivity among older adults. The figure on the bottom right shows the Comprehensive School Physical Activity Program, CSPAP, which provides a national framework for increasing physical activity in schools. The figure on the top right presents Active People, Healthy Nation, a CDC national initiative aimed at helping 27 million Americans become more physically active by 2027. Together, these examples illustrate population-level strategies designed to improve physical activity across different age groups. As populations age, physical activity becomes even more critical. It helps to slow the risk of chronic disease and is key to maintaining functional ability and independence in older adults. The number of people living with disabilities has been increasing each year, with the total disability population growing by approximately 5% every decade. About 20% of adults aged 65 and older have at least a partial disability, and nearly 45% of adults over 85 require assistance with daily living. This trend presents a significant challenge to the healthcare system. Regarding healthy life expectancy, the United States ranks relatively low worldwide, with an average of approximately 68.5 years. Women tend to have a longer healthy life expectancy than men. It is important to note that healthy life expectancy refers to the number of years lived without significant disease or disability, which is slightly different from overall longevity. Physical activity provides numerous benefits for older adults. In a review study by Taylor, it was shown that physical activity improves cardiovascular health, muscle strength, bone health, and mental well-being. It also reduces the risk of falls and enhances cognitive function. Importantly, these benefits can still occur even if individuals begin being physically active later in life. Physical function declines with age, but active individuals decline much more slowly. This difference underscores how physical activity is crucial for maintaining independence and quality of life as we age. Moreover, this graph illustrates age-related changes in cardiorespiratory fitness by BMI and physical activity level. Both active men and women with a normal body mass index maintain higher cardiorespiratory fitness across adulthood. Activity level is a strong predictor of fitness, reinforcing that physical activity is a lifelong investment in health. However, individuals with low BMI and low physical activity still show higher fitness compared to those with high BMI and high activity in both men and women. This suggests that BMI may play a particularly important role in fitness, although both BMI and physical activity are important factors.